Should the labels be giving us 6 points to when we're banging our heads against the wall trying to change culture, and the CEO is like, you can have 6 points? See, a label giving a producer 6 points out of 100 is the equivalent of them sitting on a cow and a UFC fight is happening, and they go drop us one steak in the middle of the ring, and they tell the 6 producers who worked on the song, the 6 writers who worked on the song, go fight for it and figure it out. Yeah. And everyone's like, I get the little fatty piece on the end because I made most of the song. And these guys are like, look at these idiots. We have 97 points and they're fighting for 3. And they think that they should be grateful if we give them 7 instead of 6. What a bunch of morons. That's literally what they're all thinking, laughing hysterically while we're in the basement like, my soul, and I'm just trying to express myself and all the culture and how to change culture. These guys are like, great job. Keep doing it and give us more so we can get 97% of it. Fucking insane.
That is insane.
Fucking insane. Just for somebody, I'm sorry. For someone to be a producer, and you know how many hours, I'm sorry, you're sitting at that chair and your back's hunched over because you've done it for so many hours. For then you to finally get an opportunity to work with a big artist and the label tells you you're lucky to be working with them, here's 2 points. Go flying fuck yourself. Go flying fuck yourself. Not cool, bro. Not cool, bro. I've seen it. I've done it. I've participated in it, and it's crazy.
So why don't you make a label and change the way that the game is?
Yeah, Tori Kelly.
Yeah. How long ago did you do that?
Almost 2 years ago.
Is there anybody on your mind that you're like, okay, cool? Like, is there? Okay, so
granted, a lot of artists that are working right now, and a lot of artists are coming up, and the reason that the music industry is crumbling is because these artists are getting 50 points. They're getting 50 points. But right now in the industry, I'm talking about the industry of writers and producers. First of all, and whatever, I'm not a politician, and I'm just talking freely. So I'm not trying to like lift myself up to be the leader of nothing. This is how I feel about it. As a writer, I should be getting master points. I should not be getting publishing. I should not be getting publishing. We should get publishing, and we should have even splits on the publishing. That's fine. We should be getting master points as well. To not have that is the publishing. You make money at the radio. I don't know who's still listening to the radio. Someone is, because there's still a lot of money in advertising. When you get a hit record, as a writer, you make money on the publishing. But as a writer, you don't see the streaming money because you don't get any points. And the label has 100 of them. 100 of them. If I write Holy for Justin Bieber and I have 3 points on that song, that's a $2 million song. Out of 3 points, there's 100. Oh, shut up, you're rich. Shut up, you're rich. It's not the point. That's not the point. It's not the point. There would be a renaissance. I didn't even plan this. There would be a renaissance in music if the labels, if everybody gave the writers and the producers more points, because then we don't have to make that much bullshit. We can only make a little bullshit. There's artists that I want to work with that I might not ever even work with because it's like I have a family to feed. I have things to do. I can't just do my passion projects. I can't just do that. Starving artists die hungry. If you want to be a leader and provide for your family and you still want to make music, you're going to have to make some decisions to, okay, this isn't the most like greatest thing I've ever worked on, but like, man, this is where my job is. And a lot of people are in that position now. They want to work on artistically great stuff. They do. These producers, they really want to work, but they also need to feed their families. So the first 10 years of them working on records is working with artists that they'd probably not want to. But if you gave them 20 points from the label side, labels, if you're even here in the next 5 years, you should be giving them more points because then they'll be inspired to work with their favorite artists to make their favorite music that doesn't have to sound like something that's on the radio. I'm only talking about the writer and producer industry. The writer and producers, yeah.
But that goes with acting as well. Like a lot of people are like, yo, I just wrote this script. You made all this money and I only got the $50K that you gave me to write it? That's crazy.
Crazy.
Well, that's why there was the SAG strike, for the writers. And
okay, so let's just
let me tell you something. Writers and producers, nobody. You know how expensive SAG-AFTRA is to pay for as a writer and producer for me to get dental for my family? I'm okay. I'm making good money. I've been successful. But I've had to be juggernaut Olympian successful just to have benefits that normal people who work at a dentist office get. And it's like, no, bro. There's no way, bro. None of these writers and producers, they're living on ramen noodles. And then it's like, oh, by the way, X artist who's an enormous artist is going to take 92% of the song you wrote 100% of. You're lucky to have your 8%. It will give you your first check and you'll buy your first home off of it. But just be lucky but then the artist who's eating ramen noodles will always take that deal because they don't have any money. So you're putting them in a rough position. Yeah. That's a tough thing to do.
You also said something to me when we were in the studio because I was like, okay, well, why don't you're already at level, just move on. And this stuck with me. You said, if I don't do it, the hungry kid that is right behind me and the thousands that are lined up behind
Yeah,
him
there's a
to
kid at
replace
Berkeley.
me.
There's a kid at Berkeley watching this right now. That's like, one day I'm gonna have $1 million. But until then, my mom's paying me getting sandwiches in the cafeteria. I got to get this thing off the ground. So like a young 19-year-old, 18-year-old John, someone comes with $10,000 and is like, "Yo, you're rich, bro. Come and sign this thing and do this thing." They might even know they're getting screwed over, but the door might not be able to get open unless you sign with the right person or you do the right thing. It's a whole convoluted thing. And even as I move forward in the publishing space or in the label space or whatever, I'm gonna at least try to like really inform people. Hey, if you want to sign with me, we're dedicated to making great art. We're dedicated to making high product, and you need to call your lawyer and understand what you're getting into. Because trust me, around every corner, these guys are gonna prey on what you don't know, and they're gonna pack it into the contract. And if somebody put $1 million in front of your face, and your last 3 generations have never seen more than 50 grand, you're like, yo, I'm rich forever. I'm rich forever. $1 million, I'm rich forever. Then you buy a house, and you don't really. Uncle Sam takes 50, and your manager takes 10, and your business manager takes 4, and everybody's shocked when you're in the red, and you don't have a dime to your name. But I thought you were a millionaire, and your family thinks you're a millionaire, and you're this. Music money ain't what it used to be, as far as what people think it is, because these labels are holding on to all the money, and they've done it for a long time. And I think people are probably figuring that out. That's probably why they're crumbling.
Conversations like this is what opens people's eyes. So if you're having like if you're holding this information to yourself, to me, I know it might sound stupid for me to say this, but I think you're a part of the problem. If you're keeping your mouth shut while they're coming in and punching you straight in the mouth, and they're like, "You're welcome," and then they walk away, and then you turn around, and now I'm watching Reed's face. He doesn't know what he's about to go into, and I know he's about to get his ass kicked. But I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut right now. I don't want to do anything.
The thing, funny enough, is that the thing I lament toward, and the thing that I relate to a lot, is that even with myself, it's like when an artist asks you to work and they're signed to a label and the label owns the master, and then you think, I deserve 20 points on this song, but you think in your head, like, oh, it's Justin Bieber. It's like, man, this is going to be a big notch in my belt, and people are going to ask me that in interviews, and you work with Justin Bieber, and that's going to do a lot for my career.
Yeah.
And the problem is you're always front-loading. You're always saying, I know they're screwing me here, but this is going to do a lot for my career.
Yeah.
I know they're contractually screwing me and monetarily screwing me. I'm not talking about, like, morals and, like, trying to be famous and all that stuff. That's, like, another tabled conversation. But I get it though, because I do that. It's like if a giant artist wants to work with me, or someone who's makes my brand be more viable and my relevance is still there, it's like, oh, fine, I'll take the 3 points. But
like
now
the credit is better than the money. You're like,
yes, and I've fallen victim to that, and I've done that before, which is the only reason why I'm speaking on it now, is because now I have enough money to just not care. I don't care. It's gonna be what it. I feel like it's gonna be what it is. So it's like,
I think that's why your shit's slapping right now.
I wasn't.
There's no heat on you.
No, none. And it's. Yeah.
So you're making what you love, like what you said to this artist. If the label did better, then the artist would be more hungry to be able to do the things that they love.
Put it this way: if I had 80%, if I had 90% of my contract instead of 10%. I have to be 9 times. Actually, I don't know the math, so I'd have to be a lot more successful with 10% than I do 90. So then I'm like, oh, they're all acting like fools because in order to get the big jackpot payout, you have to do 50,000 times what you really probably need to do.
Right.
If I have 90% of my contract, I don't really need to be that successful.
But
I'm going to make whatever the fuck I want.
That poisons the water. That's why we have artists that start out amazing with their talents, but then they go off into some weird venture, and you're like, wait, why are you doing that? You're doing it we all know you're doing that for attention.
Yeah, it's also attention economy. Like we're also so desensitized to it while the contracts are bad that then these artists, to some degree, I'm not judging anybody. To me, what I had to become or felt I was doing or felt that I was shifting into was a mixture of all those things. The content, hey, give me attention. I have to break through and be so fantastical that I get all the attention, and I also have to like be this perfect tourer and this perfect person for my management and my perfect person for this and for this and for this and for this, that it turns you into a thing that you don't need to be. If we just got the contracts right, Prince was talking about it for a long time. Prince has been talking about it. The Masters, and young kids don't want to hear about it because it's not fly. It's not exciting. It's not exciting. It's exciting when you get dinner with the CEO. They took you to the ill spot and they paid for this $200 meal. One day I'm gonna have it like them. They signed me for 30 grand. yeah, this is exciting, because then they get you in with the new artist, and then you feel cool being around them, and then you're like, yeah, I'll take 3 points. I'm gonna make what off of 3 points? And if the song's a hit, it's gonna go. I'll take my 3. And it's like 6 years later, you're like, there's 100 of those points, and I made all of it, and the artist wasn't in the room.